Here we fucking go! You're listening to Bread and Circuses.
It's like the mob media, for one, is the entire world populated. Like, everybody's on Twitter. Fucking the UK is on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
unfortunately.
With Caleb Salvatore.
Well, they can't. They can't go to the comedy shows because there's a 2-drink minimum, and you can't mix the Percocet you've been stealing from work with liquor.
And Nick Kohler.
There literally be people in the fucking 80s that didn't know that nutting in a girl would make her pregnant.
No one's asked that question. What did those families do to provoke Alex Jones like that?
You know what'll solve all of these racial police protests? A Pepsi.
What the fuck is up, friends? Welcome to Bread and Circuses. We're back.
Bread and Circuses live here. Co-host Nicholas Kohler in the studio. What's up?
Live-ish. I mean, we're not in front of a live audience, but
We're live in front of each other, and that's all that matters.
that's all that matters. Yes. You did.
And that we had fun doing it. So
Nick did my show Saturday. It was or Friday, excuse me. A fucking solid set, especially considering you hadn't like done comedy. And
I appreciate that, man. I felt like some of the people in the crowd there were a little
it was a rough crowd.
a little bit, but other than that though, I mean, like I like the people that were on there with us too.
Yeah.
Those guys from Kansas were really cool, man.
Yeah, it was so my thing is, if the beach house used to be Wired, if it wasn't under new ownership, June, July, and possibly August, we wouldn't even be doing shows. Because summer is just such a dead month for comedy, unless you're in a city like LA or New York or Chicago where you have tens of millions of people. Summer is just such a, I mean, in Omaha.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, that summer is like a dead month?
It's nice outside.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Like if people are doing fun stuff, it's outdoor stuff. So
They're going to the lake, they're going bar hopping downtown. I mean, fuck, next week we'll have the College World Series in town. Thankfully, we avoided that. There's just more shit to do. People are going to play like beach volleyball type or stand volleyball type
we
stuff.
still had a really good crowd come out though. Like
it was solid.
I was worried that we were gonna have a lot of open space there, and then like of course last
That's
minute.
always how it goes. At our shows. Always. Even it's like we'll sell like 50 tickets pre-sale, right? And that venue only holds realistically like 100 people, and and that's, I mean, there's probably 60 chairs there, right? We'll sell 50 tickets pre-sale, and we're worrying like, fuck, are we gonna have enough seats? And no one's there until 5 minutes before it starts. And I'm like, okay, sure.
It was funny when the guy that went on before me, God, what's his name again?
Chance?
No, not Chance. He went that went on after me. Excuse me. It wasn't Jaron. Julian. Yeah. Julian went on, and he had basically like the opposite half of like, or the reverse of my joke, where like, or not even really the opposite, just like the opposite part of it, where like he's dating a white girl, and he had some jokes about that, and then I was dating a black girl, so I had like some jokes. I thought that was a really funny. Yeah, we were talking about that out in the parking lot, like when we were smoking afterwards. Like, I was just thinking that was like a funny like duality in the
that
show.
Is pretty.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope. No, it was everyone did solid. It was a little rougher crowd. They kind of had to be broken open. They wouldn't just laugh at everything people said.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so I mean, it was fun enough.
They were talking a lot during the sets too, which
they were.
You know me, I fucking hate when people like are talking in the crowds.
It actually fucked with me. Like, I'm not gonna like that. Actually, kind of. I don't mind chatter, but I mean, dude, when there's 8 people in the back of the room, not even in the back of the room, by the bar, having a loud conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm on I'm the host, right? So I'm starting it off. And like, I was like, I can, fuck with these people and see if they'll throw something back. But if they start getting cocky and yelling shit back, like that can fuck the whole thing up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna scream at these people, and that
was funny when you did that. We were all laughing.
Shut the fuck up!
we were laughing, and like all the other comedians, and they were like laughing when you did that. We were like, that was funny.
I mean, like, it was I played it as that I was just joking, but like I legit snapped. I was fucking mad.
Yeah.
I mean, and it turned out I knew one of the people that was in the group, so
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. I'm not mad at him. So I mean, it is what it is.
A guy that's been on this show before.
Yeah, he's
like.
been on the show before. But I was like, and I wasn't concerned about him. It was more so the people he was with. He didn't really seem to be one of the ones talking. But
it definitely seemed like the crowd that was out there was like people that were going to just kind of be like, people that were going to just go to a comedy show, but it didn't seem like they were like comedy fans. Like,
no,
there were a lot of jokes that people were telling that I was like, that were cracking me the fuck up. And they were laughing, but they weren't
laughing like they should have been.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what the
fuck?
What are these dudes not laughing for? That shit was funny, man.
No, yeah, there were some people that had some fucking hilarious. Yeah, no, it was a solid night, and it's just like I said, summer's tough. You got too much shit going on outside. The weather's nice.
Yeah.
Fall, winter, even cooler days in the spring, it's a lot easier to trap people in one venue for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And
I could see that. Especially like the last time I did a show was in December, and like we had like more tickets sold than we could fit in the venue.
Oh yeah, dude.
That. And,
December, January, like those are usually the best months to do shows. I mean, that's even like November's a little tough because it's Husker football season. So if you land on a Saturday night game, good luck. You're not gonna get much, but yeah, so it'll be cool.
Found that out with my wedding, dude, where like a bunch of people like couldn't show up because they had tickets.
I was one of them.
Yeah, like it was the first game of the Husker. Like,
it wasn't just the first; it was the first game of Scott Frost.
Yeah,
and my thing was like, if it was just Nebraska playing Akron, I would have been there. But it was like a one. It's like
no, my ex didn't understand that. Like, she didn't understand how important. Like, we had only been up here for like maybe like a year. You know, she didn't understand how important Husker football is up here. Like,
well, we scheduled ours in October of next year, and I was looking at the Nebraska schedule after the fact. Because look, my thing is
that's like people joke around about that up here, like, oh, planning weddings around the Husker football season, but like that's some real shit, man. Like, people actually have to do that up here.
Like, my concern is the people that like some of your friends may have tickets to the game or whatever that they've had for months, and that's not my thing. Your parents, your best man, they're all going to be there, right? The concern is, there's two things. Number one, you're going to have people who are like have tickets, like I said, have tickets to the game. That's obviously concern number one, that they bought, before you fucking sent out your invitations. Nobody's fault. That's the scheduling. Or number two, you're going to have people that are at the game, that are at your wedding, that are following the game on their phones.
Yeah. Well, you'll also have the third cousin, like, Jamie, that said he was going to come out, and then like one of his friends is like, oh, you want to come to this party that we're doing?
Football party.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I haven't talked to my cousin in like years, I'll just send him a card afterwards.
Fuck them. He can pay for me for the open bar.
Yeah.
Too bad he's already paid.
Yeah, and like that, I mean, that's whatever. Like, I never want to be like that guy that's like pissed at somebody for choosing one thing over another, because it's like your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially if we don't talk to each other that much. Like, you want more people to show up to your wedding because it's more like wedding gifts, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I look forward to having everyone there so we can like all party and hang out and shit. And that was actually one of the conversations we had, was we could pay for the bar for 2 hours, or for like $5 per person more, $4, we could pay for the entire night.
Even at my wedding night, dude, or at my wedding party, like, we had the game going on inside, and a lot of people were watching the game inside, which I, myself included, like, you know what I mean? I was like interweaving between party guests and everything, and then I still would like go in to go check the score and stuff.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
well,
it's like,
it never happened because it rained out.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, they were doing the pregame thing. They didn't even get kickoff on that, right?
No, they the opening kickoff.
Yeah, that's right.
They called it for lightning.
I remember. That storm, because my mom's.
It was a bad storm.
Yeah, it was a bad storm out there by Lincoln. That's right. Yeah, for the pregame stuff, I was popping in there and everything. That happened like 4 years ago now already. Like, I kind of blanked.
It was 2018. So
yeah,
4 years ago.
So your wedding night, man, is like, there's so much going on. Like, take videos because you probably won't remember all of it.
Yeah, I think there's a videography team that we hired for ours. Yeah, no, ours is on October 7th of 23, and I checked the schedule after the fact, because the venue we got is kind of like high demand, so we just had to fucking roll with a date in the fall, right?
Did you end up getting the last one that you guys went to go see, or
no? We got the first one.
Oh, okay,
I knew that was going to happen. The first one we got we were going to look at. There were 3 venues we wanted to look at. The first one was the most expensive, and as soon as we pulled up, I knew we ain't looking at another one. Like, this is the one she wants.
Great.
Like my thing is like, weddings are more for women, right?
They really are.
I'd marry her in my backyard, in my grandma's backyard.
Fellas, you know, like, if you're a girl, when your fiance or girlfriend is like discussing wedding plans with you, she's telling you how it's going to be, and you're just there to be like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. She's looking for you to be like, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, Burgundy. I love Burgundy, dude. Like,
just that's literally all you can do. It's, I mean, we know you unless it's a gay couple, the guy doesn't care about the color
even then
scheme.
There's probably like one of the guys is like, you know, like, Eric, we're wearing beige, like, you know what I mean?
No, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah. We're wearing beige, Eric. I'd really appreciate it if you would stop telling me to not wear beige. Like,
you know, that's exactly how it is. But yeah, I got told what color my tie is going to be and shit.
Yep.
But no, it'll be so our wedding is going to be on Nebraska away game at Illinois. Illinois is bad enough. That should be like an 11 a.m. game. Our shit don't start till 4 o'clock, so we should be all right.
That should be good. Yeah.
I remember I went to a friend's wedding just last September, and it was the Nebraska-Oklahoma game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to have enough time. I watched the first half of the Nebraska game and most of the third quarter. We listened to the rest of the third quarter on the radio on the way to the church, right? And we were going to have enough time. If I paused it on my YouTube TV, we would have enough time to get home, watch the end of the game, as long as nobody spoiled it for me, right? So I turned my phone off. I didn't want anyone texting me, calling me, nothing. Turned my phone off the whole way home, turned on, you know, like her Spotify. On the whole way there. And when the church ceremony ended, right? Like, when the ceremony ended, was
the wedding here in Nebraska?
It was in Omaha, yeah.
Okay.
It was in Omaha. So yeah, excuse me. I had my phone off on the way home, or I was going to do that.
Yeah.
But the guy behind me, as soon as the ceremony ends, we get up, we're waiting to, you know, file out of the church pews, and the guy goes, "Well, Nebraska blew it."
Oh my fucking
son
God.
Of a bitch. This is not 1993. People have fucking DVRs now. We record the games. We don't want to know who won. Could you have considered that, like, hey, maybe somebody here cares? You know, somebody here has a
dude, and having doing that in Nebraska, I swear there's like an old episode of like some like The Simpsons or something like that, where like the exact same thing happened, where like a pro game, they're like trying not to figure out like who won or something, and they're like dodging. Oh, I think it's like an episode of Scrubs where like Dr. Cox is like wanting to like not know like who won at the Pistons game or something, and like he's going like la 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 la. So like nobody, he's like, if anybody spoils the game for me, I will kill you. Like everybody at the hospital is like watching out for Dr. Cox not spoil the game for him and everything. Like,
we legit. So the proposal we did have, it was a fucking sitcom moment. I invited a bunch of people to the engagement party, right? They're not engagement party, but just like we were going to have a celebration at a bar after the fact, right? And I invited a bunch of people that she knows, a bunch of people that I know. We were just going to have, you know, a couple drinks and go home. Well, and that was like a week prior. Well, someone who will remain nameless that you know was invited to this. And I don't know what happened, but I woke up to text messages from her saying, "Hey, did you get a weird Snapchat from me?" And I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?" So she said, "Well, I accidentally someone asked her what she was doing." And this is an older person, not someone our age. Asked her what they were doing for the weekend, and she said, "Well, Friday we're gonna go see a movie," and then she sent a video on Snapchat, right? Friday we're gonna go see a movie, and then Saturday Caleb's proposing to Mia, so we're gonna go to the after party. And she's like, meant to send it to one person, but my husband said he got it. Did you get it? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I pull up her Snapchat and she posted it to her story.
Oh,
her
no.
public story. And the shit had been up for 7 hours at that point.
Did Mia look at it or?
No. I even asked her after that. She didn't know. She didn't look at it. But she posted
Thank God, dude.
It was I had to call. I'm like blowing her phone up. Take that shit down.
Oh,
right this
no,
fucking
dude.
Second. Get it. She
That
didn't know how to
literally is
delete
like
it.
that.
Didn't know
Literally
how to
is like a
delete it.
fucking sitcom, dude.
She didn't
like,
know how to delete it, so I had to like explain to her how to delete a Snapchat.
I think I know who
story.
you're talking
I'm
about
sure
too,
you
and
do.
I'm just like, oh no,
I'm
dude.
sure you do. That's have you heard of the YouTuber I know Arel?
No.
He goes around and he does loyalty checks. He's the loyalty check guy. It's the black guy with the dreadlocks.
You know what? I think I've seen him on like TikTok.
He'll be on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So I actually like his channel because I've binged his channel recently because he's like one of the few YouTubers that like he'll post a 15-minute video and 13 minutes of it is content that he actually promised. It's not like a 20-minute video with a 12-minute merch drop.
He finally at 2.5 minutes, he finds like, all right, let's dive right in. Like,
and then it's still another 4 minutes of shit.
Yeah.
He's like telling you to subscribe and go to, and like I get you got to pimp your shit and make your money, but God, you can do it a lot faster than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, the odds of me listening to your ad about merch or whatever, or your website or subscribing, if it's under a minute, are so much better because otherwise I'm just gonna skip till I get to the part I want to see.
Yeah.
But so he'll do like loyalty checks. So he'll do like if there's 2 girls, he'll say, hey, call her boyfriend up and try to slide through with him.
I've definitely seen that guy. Yeah.
So he had one where the girl called the boy and she's like, hey, I'm going to come through and Netflix and chill later. Do you want to do that? And he's like, I can't do that. And the other girl's with him. He goes, he's like, I can't do that. I bought her a ring. I'm going to propose to her next week.
Oh, no.
And the other girl's there. And the guy's like, oh, no.
Oh, no, dude.
I was like,
yo, there's like a TV show in Mexico that's like that where they just pull random people up on the street and they like go through their phones.
Yep.
And like they give them more money as the more apps that they go through and stuff. And like, dude, they'd be ruining relationships on that's the only ones they show. So
he does it all. And what's funny is like he'll heckle people as they're being like being heartbroken, and they're like the girl will find out that her friend was fucking her boyfriend all along.
Yeah,
and he's like, she'll be like, we've been together for 3 years, and he goes, 3 years.
Yeah, dude.
They're just like the worst moment they've had in the last 10 years, and this guy's just antagonizing them.
Christ, dude.
It's a great YouTube channel. Y'all should check it out. I know Arel, Ayrel.
Yeah, I definitely see that guy on like YouTube Shorts and stuff, man. That shit's funny as fuck. They'll be like they'll call the brother and be like, hey, you want to come by?
Yeah.
Like sometimes they'll get him and sometimes they won't.
Yep.
But
he had one where the girl knew that her boyfriend was cheating, so he actually teamed up with his restaurant, right? Excuse me, and he got an Instagram model to help him out, and they mic'd her up and shit. So they sent the boyfriend to pick up food from this brunch place, and they had the Instagram model go up and hit him up, and they're like, hey, do you want to come sit with me? Blah blah blah. So he just immediately goes and sits with her.
Oh my god.
And he's sitting there, she's like, so do you have a girlfriend? He's like, do you really think if I had a girlfriend I'd be sitting here with you? Blah blah blah. And the waiter and the YouTube guy, the host of the show, comes over posing as a waiter, right? And he goes, he's like, hey, can I take your order? And the guy's bald, right? The boyfriend. He's like, can I get an egg sunny side up? And he goes, oh, that's funny. It's just like your head. As the waiter. Like,
that's fucking savage.
The
man.
girlfriend sees him cheating on her, and she walks over and throws his water in his face.
Hell yeah, dude.
The host of the show like picks up a napkin and tries to wipe off his head.
That's fucking great, dude.
He's like, get this shit off of me.
As a bald person, I can laugh at that, but none of you guys can. No. Only I can laugh at that.
Mia gave me permission to use the word spaz since I know Lizzo's in deep trouble for it.
Oh, what?
Spaz is apparently hate speech. It's a slur for people that have issues that like
ADHD.
No, or like makes their limbs spastic, like epilepsy.
Oh, I've always heard people call people like that are like high functioning autistic or like ADHD or something spaz.
Oh, I always
like,
thought that was Spurg. But
no,
maybe I'm
no,
wrong.
Spurg is like Asperger's.
Guys,
like...
quit saying spaz. It's retarded. Okay. It's just...
I did see that Lizzo got canceled, but I assumed it was like for a race thing or something.
No,
like...
she said the word spaz, and they were very upset that she said the word spaz, and she apologized and remade the fucking song with a different lyric.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Every song that anybody ever makes, people should like get mad, quote unquote, at some random word they say. Like, you know what I mean?
I always thought it would be a heart disease that canceled Lizzo.
God,
what do I know?
Yeah, she'd lose. Her foot would get canceled by type 2 diabetes.
So this is the song. Like, do you remember? Did you ever hear the "Let's Get Retarded" song?
Oh, hell yeah, dude!
Not the Black Eyed Peas song.
Isn't that Black Eyed Peas?
It is.
Initially?
They had to remake it. Let's get it started.
Let's get it started.
No, there's a much better song called "Let's Get Retarded," and it's less known. I'll play it for you on Twitter here.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow, dude. How many views does that have on YouTube?
Not enough.
Oh my god. You know what? I remember being on.
How this the subtle.
Yeah, the drown. Yeah, I remember the internet back in like the early 2000s, man.
That song's been taken off YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure it has. You would see like one of the real early YouTube shows that was like, back in the days of like Flash animation and everything was like super retarded dog. Was like a big thing where he was like a retarded superhero dog.
I remember the retarded police officer.
Yeah, dude, and like that was just a thing back in the Wild West internet days.
Yeah. And like I know that they say like, oh, you don't call retarded people retarded, it's bad taste. You call your friends retarded when they're being retarded. But no, they made fun of actual people with disabilities.
No, they were like actually retarded.
It was poor taste as fuck.
Like, you don't go full retard, like actual like retarded. Yeah,
they actually made fun of people with special needs. Like it was as poor of taste as you can.
That's dude. Poor taste is like the perfect way to describe early 2000s internet, dude.
Like it wasn't even punching down; it was like punching the floor. Which I still support.
Well, you know what? Back then, dude, I think a lot different with websites like that, like Newgrounds and stuff. Back then, was they didn't have comments, so like you would just watch it, and like there was no way of anybody being on there being like, "This is fucking bad. I'm retarded, and I find this offensive." Like
people didn't really get that hurt by it either.
I just generally think that back then, like people just couldn't say that they were offended by it. Like, could you imagine Happy Tree Friends being a thing now? Like, you remember Happy Tree Friends back in the day? Like, dude,
Charlie and the Unicorn. No, it's like I think it's the same you have with a lot of social issues in society. It's just an overcorrection is what it was. Because I mean, people like we said, we saw people using the word retard to talk about like actual handicapped people, just people that can't stick up for themselves,
people with bicycle helmets.
I mean, stuff. Just can't stick up for themselves, just punching the floor, right? And they're like, maybe that's not cool. And then they overcorrected to the point where Lizzo has to make a new song because she used the word spaz in it.
Spaz, like anybody out there actually thinks spaz is like a bad word for people.
Right. So, I mean, it's not like it's just an overcorrection, just like everything else you see these days.
The best thing for Lizzo's career there would have just been to be like, shut the fuck up. Like,
right.
She can like talk shit to all these fucking men and all these songs. She can't talk shit to these fucking dumbass 14-year-old British people that you know what I mean?
Exactly. Chet Hanks set the standard. Tom Hanks' son. Did you see that?
I know of that. What did
White
he
Boy
do?
Summer?
Yeah, that's right.
Chet Hanks set the standard. Let me see if I can find it. We'll just play the audio into the mic. But Chet Hanks set the standard for how to respond to people like that. Because they asked him because he used some type of like reggae voice in Jamaican type voice or something like that. Let Let me see if I can find
something that like really sensitive people would probably like be offended by. Like,
right? Yeah. So he set the standard.
Marginalized communities you want to apologize to. I don't know. Maybe the Patois community.
No. I don't feel like I've truly done anything offensive, so.
You don't see it as cultural appropriation. You see it as like a celebration of culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like social justice warriors can like go kick rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
look at she has no power here, dude. That's fucking great.
Got it.
No, I mean, I 100% agree. Social justice warriors can kick rocks.
She's that's the thing, dude.
There's nothing.
Absolutely, but you have no power here.
The second you're like, no, I'm good. They can't do anything.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
Power away.
What are they gonna do? Like, it's like,
yeah,
those people aren't even listening to that music anyway. Like,
no, it's just like what I say, man. It's like, as soon as you apologize, you give him fucking leeway, and that's my biggest critique with Rogan. And I get that he has 100 million reasons to apologize because Spotify tells him to. Shouldn't have done it because now they want everything. Now everything you do that they don't agree with, they want you to apologize for. You give those fucking people an inch, they take a country mile.
Well, you know, I mean, I think his instance was a little different because he was dropping like the hard R, which I think culturally is like
he probably
a pretty crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like,
he was apologizing before that. He apologized about the vaccine thing too.
Did he really like?
Yeah.
I mean, I would watch his podcast. It didn't really seem like he was apologetic.
No, it was the Instagram video.
Oh, it was the Instagram video. Yeah, because I don't watch his extra stuff. I just watch the podcast.
Yeah,
and like now he'll just be on his podcast being like, you know what I mean, kind of being more neutral about it.
The N-word thing was that was probably a little different, but the N-word thing was a coordinated attack, man. That video circulated 3 years ago.
I know.
That they brought that back up because he was pushing against the narrative of the vaccine. You know, that we gotta trust the science and shit. By the way, 5-year-olds can transition, but trust the science, right?
Yeah,
like
trust the science, dude.
Fucking horse shit, man. I saw this article today that said some scientific journal or community or whatever lowered the age limit for when they think it's okay for teenagers to transition to 14 now.
Oh, really?
So you can transition at 14.
Is it some like quote unquote respectable scientific journal? Like,
it was, let me see. It was the Omaha World Herald shared it, was pushing this bullshit today.
Really?
I just riled a bunch of people up because I said this is how the Republicans are going to win every seat in the House this November.
Literally, dude.
It was so let's see here. It was Omaha World Herald, leading transgender health. Oh, it's a transgender health association, so we shouldn't take any.
Yeah, the Transgender Health Association.
Yeah, who fucking cares? It's that's no way that's biased.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, yeah, of course they're gonna say it's 4. The next year it'll be 9. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like, if you took a 14-year-old to a tattoo shop and was like, "Hey, his dad died last summer. I want you to tattoo his dad's name on his arm." The tattoo shop probably wouldn't even do that.
No, they wouldn't.
A tattoo shop.
A 14-year-old couldn't even like emancipate from like his. Can 14-year-olds emancipate?
I get 16.
Yeah.
Let's see if you get 15 or 16. But yeah, they wouldn't even do a tattoo for a kid that young. So the idea that they can get a sex change.
Some 14-year-olds haven't even hit puberty yet.
Right.
Like, legit. Like some people hit puberty like and they're like 15 and stuff. Like I've seen it before. Like,
dude, if your brain's not fully developed till you're 25, right? And like you can do other adult things like, you know, vote and enter into contracts and stuff like that before you're 25, but 14, like you haven't even you don't even know how to drive.
Yeah,
like
14-year-olds have like learning permits, like they're learning how to drive. Like,
if they're lucky, you know, like it depends like what grade you're in and shit. Like it's just asinine to even suggest that a 14-year-old could transition. Like,
yeah, and I know we talked about it. We talked about it. I remember when we were prepping for the show that one time where it's like, dude, being like one of the letter people is like this generation's version of, or this like generation's version of like being like a scene kid when we were younger. Like, that's like the alt thing to do, to be like the one that's like pushing against the rules and stuff, is to be a they them. Like,
but the scene kids, I don't know, man. I feel like it had less lifelong consequences to it.
Yeah, because I remember when I was in high school, like a big thing was to be a cutter. Like that was like
That's different.
that's
Yes
the equivalent. Yeah, that's the equivalent.
That's the equivalent. No, I was saying that's different from just being a scene kid.
Yeah,
with long
yeah,
hair
yeah.
And listen to My Chemical
being
Romance.
being like the girl that cut yourself was like the fucking like the ultimate
they're both
bad bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
transitioning and cutting are both self-mutilation.
exactly.
That'll get us kicked off YouTube for me saying that, but it's fucking true. Like I'm
well,
sorry.
like I know a lot of the kids in high school don't like. A lot of them will just dress. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they'll say like I'm a Clem Clow or something like that. But like. I mean, I'm sure you knew girls and even guys. I knew some guys in high school that would do it, but like they had the scars on their thighs.
I'm
and
in
shit.
love with an emo girl.
Yeah, dude.
All
like,
I want. Yeah, that's
And like, they were like legit, like the really like sad people. You're like, damn, dude, are you all right? And like,
it's like, are you okay, man? Yeah. It's like, but like,
you don't really see a lot of people talking about being cutters, really, a whole lot.
No, because they're too busy cutting their dicks off. They can't do that.
I don't know if they're actually doing the surgery.
Not at that age,
but
no.
Yeah,
not at that age.
But they are like wearing like clothes for like guys. The girls are wearing like guys' clothes. It's funny. The girls like they dress like the like scene kids or like the guys used to dress like when we were like the Hot Topic guys wearing like Cookie Monster hats.
Yep.
And like fucking some shitty band t-shirt and like
monster.
Yeah.
Green
drinking a monster and like kind of being into skateboarding. Like that's what like the like trans guys are all or like the
DC shoes.
Yeah, dude, the same black and white fucking DC skating shoes and they don't even skate. Like,
dude, those girls that had like the pink DC shoes, the black and pink, they all smoked cigarettes.
They
like
all
14.
work as a hostess at a Denny's now.
They still do. Yeah, they still do. And it's like I remember one of them that I went to high school with. Like I pulled up into a Taco Bell not too long ago, and she was still working at the Taco Bell, and I'm like, oh my god,
hell
like,
yeah, dude!
At least you've had longevity. Like, good job. Like,
hell yeah, dude!
I was like, I remember I was asked her, I was like, so did you get promoted?
Are you like the executive tortilla wrapper?
It's like you've been working at Taco Bell for 8 years. You better be like on the board of directors by now. Like,
I remember there was this one kid that was like. And this was a guy, and I remember he was like a cutter when we were in like early high school.
Yeah,
and like he was like the long greasy hair, like never showered, always wore black, skater type dude, and like
he's had head lice for 6 years.
Yeah, he looks like he has head lice for sure, and like he was working at Taco Bell, and like I heard that a couple years after high school he was still working there, and I was like, well, that goes figure, you know what I mean? Like a lot of kids, even you're kind of even guilty. Everybody's kind of guilty of it a little bit when you're a kid, but thinking like high school is like all there is that is in life. You know what I mean? So like the people that you like end up just being kind of losers after high school, you're kind of like, well, yeah, not really surprising. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, he's a cutter. I mean, he's gonna bleed into the food. I hope they got him.
It's the kind of guy. He's the kind of guy where like he had to go to summer school because he was failing like 7th grade math and shit. Where you're like,
that was my thing. Was like they always played like in like teen drama movie or teen high school movies and stuff like that. The jock was always just the big dumbass. But like I remember all the star quarterback on our team was like a 4.0 student. Like although like for the most part the jocks were actually fairly smart. And
I kind of like as far as like the like high school like cliques go, I kind of fell into all of them. Like, you know what I mean?
Same here. Yeah,
I was cool
I merged except the wannabe rednecks. I was never in that.
Yeah, me neither. Well, I guess I went to a farm school, so that was kind of everybody.
That was just everyone. Yeah, no.
But like, yeah, I was like, I hung. What was that?
Millard schools, it was a problem.
Yeah, because the Millard schools, for sure, man. Like all the people that like listen to country music and like had their dad's truck and stuff. Like
my big green tractor.
Whereas like my high school was like actual farmers, like
farm kids.
Like would get off school and go like help wrestle fucking pigs and
There was like this dude that like walked in and threw a fit because they wouldn't let him wear a cowboy hat in school. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Dude, none of the farm kids actually wore cowboy hats.
No, none of them actually did.
One kid wore a cowboy hat all the time to school, and everybody would make fun of him. Yeah, he was like another farm kid.
Like that's how I know you're from the city, bro. You wear a fucking cowboy hat to fucking Millard
In-
South High School
in Nebraska. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not Oklahoma, dude.
Right,
where
there's
you're
not
like,
even actual. I mean, like way west, there's actual cowboys, but
Yeah.
not in Omaha
in El
Like,
Paso, there's like actual like vaquero like
Yeah.
cowboy guys that like will wear cowboy hats and shit, but like they actually work at the fucking cattle ranches outside of El
Right.
Paso and shit. Like,
right.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's there's too many people think high school is permanent, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And I can remember, like, that was another stereotype, is you'd always hear people talk about like how the popular, the cool guy or girl from high school, you know, they were the ones that turned into just nobodies, just alcoholics that beat their kid. I'm like,
There definitely is some people that like peaked in high school and didn't really do much, but like for the most part,
those kids are all doing fairly well.
for the
Like,
most part,
that's-
you were popular in high school because you were like charismatic
Yeah.
and like people liked you. Like, you know what I mean? Just because there was like this one subset of fucking dorks that
Yeah.
like nobody else liked, and we're like, oh, that's the popular kid. And they went on to go get a shitty like
And that-
English degree and be a writer at
and that-
fucking Family
That was
Guy.
the other thing, like, oh, the nerds, the social rejects, those are going to be the kids that are running their own companies. Like, no, they're all working at Taco Bell. Like, those kids were
No, like there's a difference between like the nerds that like fucked off in school and
the
nerds-
Yu-Gi-Oh nerds and like the actual book nerds.
Yeah, the nerds that are like the Indian kids that like aced every score, and now they're like
but
working
my
in
thing
their
was, like,
doctorates and stuff.
people actually liked those kids.
Yeah,
you know what
same.
I mean?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
weren't-
100%.
people weren't assholes to those kids.
Yeah, they were cool. Like a lot of
Yeah.
them were cool, man. Like
Yeah.
the only kids I remember in my high school, and like albeit I went to a small high school,
Mhm.
that like people just didn't like were like the fucking kids that like thought they were like society was out to get them, and they
Yeah.
just act like douchebags. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like they were the ones outside of school that were like throwing like rocks through abandoned houses, and like there was this one kid that we knew who it fucking
I
was.
know
that was
exactly what
doing
you're
it.
talking about.
He kept writing bomb threats on the school, and like everybody knew who this fucking dickhead was, but like nobody had any proof, obviously. But like, so it just like making it so it was harder to like go to high school. Like you couldn't bring bags to school and shit because there were fucking bomb threats on the high, and we're like, God damn, fuck this kid. Like
I remember we had it was fucking in Millard South. It was before I was there, but obviously because this was in like 2006, 2007, this girl got on the library computer at school and said that it might not have been Millard South. It might have been another. It was one of the Millard schools, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But
if it's some dumbass doing something on a computer, it might have been West.
Yeah,
it
well,
sounds like a Millard West story.
She got on a computer, a library computer, and went on. This is back before all the, the school block. You could pretty much go look up porn in 2006 in the school library. You know what I mean? Without having to go through a VPN. So
Back in the day when you like trick kids into going to fucking meat spin and stuff.
Yeah, fucking goatsy and shit. Yeah. Well,
lemonparty.org and stuff.
She got on some internet forum chat room, something like that, and just typed in, "I'm gonna assassinate President Bush."
That's how you know this was back in the day, because of President Bush.
Yeah,
dude.
President Bush. Yeah. And the next day, the Secret Service was at school.
Oh, I fucking.
But she had gotten the flu or something like, or a
And
virus
she
or
wasn't
something,
there.
and she wasn't there. So they came asking who was logged into this computer, and they figured out who it was. They ran the cameras and shit. She wasn't in school that day. So they're like, okay, what's her address? They went to her house, and they were like,
God
ma'am,
damn.
your daughter threatened to kill the president on her school's computer the other day.
Woo. That's pretty crazy, man.
That's
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
wild. I don't even know what I would do if my kid did some
That's
shit like
Secret Service.
I would probably, if my kid did some shit like that, they got the secret, as long as like they weren't like investigating us and they were just like, hey, because 9 times out of 10, that's what happens with those threats. They're like, hey, that shit's not funny. Don't. Usually them appearing is enough to scare you.
Unless it's a black kid, then they'll take him into prison and like
Well, then you
they'll
just
press
shoot the whole
charges.
house,
Yeah.
But
They'll take him down to jail for the fucking
Yeah.
weekend.
like, if my kid did that, as long as we didn't get in trouble, like I would play tough and I would scold him and shit, but it would be hard enough.
Yeah,
to
I would be like talking to you about it, man. I'd be
I
like,
all my
yo, my
friends.
fucking kid threatened to kill a
You're not gonna-
president.
You're not gonna believe what my dumbass son did today.
Yo, my fucking daughter says she's gonna kill President Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh,
dude.
God. So speaking of of that. We're not going to say it. John Hinckley is out of prison as of today and no longer a ward of the state. The guy that tried to kill Reagan.
Oh, god damn, really?
Yeah, he's like so old it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I see. He's gonna go fucking finish the job with his wife. Is his wife still kicking?
I think his wife's
Is
dead.
Nancy's still
Like,
kicking
they're all
around,
dead.
right? Yeah, he's gonna go finish the job with her.
The tweet said, John Hinckley, former attempted assassin of President, or the man famous for attempted assassination of President Reagan, has been released from mental health care.
He like
today.
actually shot Reagan.
He shot him in the head.
Yeah.
It said he's been released from mental health care today. At the top comment said, "I'm not even gonna say it." It's like, we all know. And the next one is like, "We all know what you're thinking." And I won't even say it on here because no, like I said that to my friend, like just like look at how fucking funny this is. And he goes, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, you know what? If you don't understand it, I'm not comfortable explaining what it means over a phone to you.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not gonna do it. Nope, you'll have to figure it out.
Go into the comments for it and read through it. You'll find it.
Go look at the comments on there. Yeah, exactly. But
Jesus Christ, man.
Fucking funny as shit, man. Oh my god.
I haven't read too much into like the Reagan stuff other than like, just some kind of like the highlights of his presidency and everything.
Crack to the inner city.
Well, no, like that. But do they fucking is there a bunch of conspiracy theories with that guy that he was like a CIA operative or something like
Reagan?
That guy that the Hinckley that he tried. Was there like a bunch of tinfoil hat conspiracy theories about him like working for like KGB or some shit?
Well, he had The Catcher in the Rye in his possession, which was the same book that the guy, what's his face, that killed Kennedy, Lee Harvey Oswald had.
He had it on him.
He had it in his possession at his home.
Oh, okay. He just had it at his house, like.
Yeah, well,
it's not that crazy.
It was him. It was the guy that killed Kennedy had it in his possession, and Hinckley either had it in his car. It was something significant enough that they brought it up, and then the guy.
Why was that significant that they had The Catcher in the Rye? Like that?
Because it was him.
Like
it was
copycat
Oswald,
killer.
It was the guy that killed John Lennon. And there was one other, and the prevailing theory is that these guys were Manchurian candidates for MK Ultra, right? And that you know how Manchurian candidates have like the trigger when they're supposed to go kill, and that book was the trigger for them to go do what their mission was.
Did the Unabomber have that too? Because I know they say he was like a big with that, where like
I don't know,
they fried his brain with fucking the LSD and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if he had one. That's but yeah, that's what MK Ultra was. And if you think about it, it's not really that far off. Like that, it's proven that they did that, MK Ultra. Now, whether it had something to do with killing Kennedy, I mean, who knows? But yeah, the CIA, there was Charlie Manson was a big, that was a big experiment, was his whole family, was the Manson family. They would take people and they would fry their brains with DMT
like LSD,
and acid. Yeah, and dude, if you've ever done that shit, imagine taking somebody that was already maybe a little slow and just giving them just heroic doses of it. You could probably fry their brain and get them to act like a zombie.
Yeah. Well, that's like who's the Unabomber? What's that guy's name?
Kaczynski.
Yeah, Kaczynski was like a fucking genius.
Yeah.
When it like before they did all the experimentation on it. I mean, like he still was like a really like smart guy, like a university professor, but like the dude was if like I know libertarians fucking love reading Ted Kaczynski, but like
do they?
Yeah, they do. Or maybe not libertarians, but more like the ANCAP guys, like reading Ted Kaczynski's like insane like return to monkey shit. But you know what I mean? Like that's like he is like the original guy for that of like technology bad and everything.
Here it is. Ted Kaczynski was obsessed with the novel The Catcher in the Rye.
Really, dude? That's crazy. Maybe it was, man.
Yeah.
Is The Catcher in the Rye the book with the book with the?
I don't even know what it's about.
I think is that the book where the guy's like the George, you know what I mean? George and the like special guy that like kills the birds, you know what I mean? And they shoot him at the end.
Not right. No, it's right now. I was thinking of Rain Man. No, I don't. Maybe I'm not sure. It might be actually. It's a Mark David Chapman was clutching a copy of The Catcher in the Rye when he killed John Lennon. So. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of ties to like famous assassinations, and
that's really weird. Like 60s and 70s ones too, with like the MK Ultra stuff was like a big thing and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like the CIA just seems like the evil, like fucking James Bond villain organization in real life,
Bro,
man.
they are.
Like,
It's like people get mad. Like I remember people were like, "Oh, I don't want to eat at Chick-fil-A because they do all these money to anti-gay charities," and I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." But what do you find out what the CIA does with your taxes? Like, you'd be a lot more pissed.
Like destabilize Central America and shit. When people
Destabilize America.
well,
What are you talking about?
they do it at all. Like it's talking about selling the crack to the inner cities and stuff like that. Like Jesus Christ,
Proven
man.
fact they did that.
And the thing is with the CIA too is like Congress will try to be like, hey, can you guys like give us this information about what you're doing? And they're like, we can't do that. And they're like, we're fucking Congress. What do you mean you can't give it to us? And they're like, that's classified. Sorry, we can't.
Or
we can't give that info.
They'll give it to them, and like every word will be redacted except like of.
Yeah.
Like
I heard something about that the FBI was like purging fucking conservative people from their ranks right now.
I believe it. I
Like,
wouldn't be surprised at all. The military is too, with the vaccine mandates and shit.
Yeah, although I know the vaccine thing wasn't as crazy as you made it, because like I said, you got crazy vaccines in the military, dude.
That's
like,
true, yeah.
If somebody was refusing that vaccine, like they're just being a dickhead in the military, because it's like, bro, they're fucking sticking you with anthrax vaccines and like the old school tuberculosis vaccine where it's like an actual TB shit in your fucking arm. Like, if you're refusing that vaccine, you're like, man, come on, bro. Like, they're doing way crazier stuff to you. Like,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
They were literally using the military guys as the fucking live guinea pigs for the vaccine and everything. Like,
for sure. Yeah, that's what they do. You sign your fucking life away to the government.
You don't have any rights in the fucking military.
No.
Like, you really don't, dude. Like,
that's the craziest shit. No, it's like, but yeah, I mean, look at now, man. These fucking mass shootings now, even it's just so weird that they all happen at very convenient times. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
Like right when the Supreme Court's about to issue a big ruling on gun control, boom, 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 all these mass shootings,
and they all know each other. Like,
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but I'm just like, what are we doing here? Come on, man, y'all can't tell me that there isn't something a little fishy here. That all these shootings happen right before the election. Right before the Supreme
what was
Court
crazy?
God,
I think it was the Vegas shooting one where like people were actually finding on like 8chan and 4chan, like actual like FBI agents were like on there doing like saying all this stuff, and like people like screenshotted them and being like stuff like saying like, oh, it like releasing information about it that like nobody else would have had, being like acting like everybody else knew it was there, and they were like, I know you can screenshot it, and there's screenshots out there of people like finding the FBI agents on the 4chan and 8chan boards. Like,
why were they leaking this shit on 8chan?
They were just like trying to spread disinformation basically about it, and like trying to make it seem like it was one thing versus what it actually was. I think they were doing it with the Vegas shooting. I know for sure they did it with the Australia shooting.
I think
they were the ones that were like spreading his manifesto on the internet, like the Australian guy that shot the mosque up.
Oh, is that New Zealand?
Or New Zealand? Yeah. It was Auckland, right? Yeah. They were the ones that were like spreading his manifesto around the internet.
I think the federal government. I think, you know how Alex Jones always talks about the documents or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says all this crazy shit, and then 10 years later, it turns out he was right the whole time.
Fucking Hollywood being run by rapists and
pedophiles, turning the frogs gay. I mean, it goes on and on. I think that Alex Jones actually does have a contact in the government, and they actually do feed him things.
He might.
They know that if he's the one that leaks it, no one's gonna believe it immediately. As soon as like a mainstream that now that Alex Jones has said it, any mainstream media member that tries to pick the same story up when it's actually happening a couple years later is going to be so ostracized they wouldn't even dare to do it because it would be the end of their career. Like, what are you running with the InfoWars story again? Oh,
my biggest thing
out of here
was like Alex Jones would always talk about like the Hollywood people being run by rapists and stuff, and like everyone just laughed at that.
Yeah.
But it was like the Weinstein
20 years ago.
Yeah, he was saying the stuff about Weinstein like forever ago, like before it was even a big deal. And like where there's smoke, there's fire. You think Weinstein's the only fucking guy in Hollywood that was fucking all
close,
dude? There's like this huge thing about how all the Nickelodeon back in the shows,
Schneider's
Dan
Bakery.
Schneider, like Schneider was
piece
like
of shit.
Fucking all the like
the iCarly girls,
all of them, like the girls from like Victorious and shit, like who is it? The the fucking one pop singer that was like really popular from like that from
Victoria Justice.
No, she was on the same show with her. I'm pretty sure.
Ariana.
Yeah, like Ariana Grande and like the girl from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Selena.
Yeah, I'm
Selena
pretty sure
Gomez?
that was all the same people.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. So like
just-
all those like pop stars, actresses now that are like kind of famous.
They're all fucked in the head.
Yeah, dude. Especially like the fucking like Billy Ray's daughter, like fucking the Hannah Montana chick.
Miley Cyrus. That was Disney. That was Disney.
Well, you don't
still
think that
Hollywood,
those
yeah,
fucking producers
sure.
were doing that shit to them?
Disney's doing probably worse.
Hell yeah,
They're
dude.
probably sacrificing kids at Disney.
And Billy Ray probably fucking knew about it too. You know
probably.
what I mean?
Hey, he's got the Old Town Road money.
Yeah, right. He
He
probably knew about it and looked the other way because it was
Dude,
making
look
their
at
family money. Like, you know,
Jeanette McCurdy, who completely walked away from acting. She was
Yeah.
the blonde iCarly girl.
Yeah.
That was the one I had a crush on as a kid.
you
Go
were the
figure, I
Jeanette
had
McCurdy girl.
right? I don't
Yeah.
like Miranda Cosgrove. The bitch looked like Michael Jackson. She still does. But
She doesn't even appear in stuff anymore. I
Miranda
don't think.
Cosgrove?
Yeah.
she's like they rebooted iCarly.
Yeah, they made like an adult version
Yeah.
of it, didn't they? Yeah.
But yeah, Jeanette McCurdy, he totally ruined her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say he did because I don't want to get in trouble. But I mean, that's acting totally. Nickelodeon and Hollywood totally ruined Jeanette McCurdy and all these people that have all these issues. I think was Demi Lovato one of them too. Was she on there?
I don't think
'Cause,
Demi
look at that
Lovato
bitch is
was.
out of her goddamn mind.
I don't think Demi Lovato was in any of those Nickelodeon shows. I
She
don't
might
think
have
she
been
was.
Disney.
I don't think she was a Snyder girl.
She might have been Disney.
But I
then.
know, like, everybody used to always laugh at it, like that Snyder guy from Nickelodeon, from like Teen Nick and stuff, was like obsessed with like the
Feet.
preteens' feet,
Feet,
and they would
yep.
put them in like all the shows, and
They
like
did.
everybody would laugh about it on the internet, and like I guess it's just the fucking boomers like never took it seriously, but we all knew, like all of our generation knew that like all.
Well, I mean, I didn't know when I was watching it. I didn't know when I was 11. that foot
Afterwards,
fetish was
like,
a thing.
I knew about it slightly afterward. I knew about it in like 2011 and 12. Like people were laughing about it on the internet about Snyder.
That's probably about when I figured it out. That
Yeah.
the guy was a cretin, man, just disgusting. Just,
and he looks like a big fat slob,
just like
too.
Weinstein.
Yeah, he's
Just like
literally like a Weinstein, like a fat slob that
Yeah.
like just looks like a fucking comic book rapist villain. You know,
I
what
feel like
mean?
if there was legitimate sexual abuse, we probably from Schneider, somebody probably would have leaked it by now. But that doesn't mean
look
he
how
didn't
long
act-
it took.
That's true.
Or Weinstein, man. Like Weinstein was making movies in like the 80s,
Yeah.
dude.
That doesn't mean he didn't
Weinstein
act
was
like
like the most powerful producer in the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, I don't know. That doesn't mean he didn't act like a scumbag creep, though. You know, even if he
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh, I mean,
Like, he didn't just outright rape somebody. It doesn't mean he wasn't a scumbag.
Well,
Like,
I'm just think like it's only 2020, and that shows were like what 10, 15
he don't
years
work
ago.
no more. Schneider.
Yeah, I know he
He doesn't
doesn't work
work
because he got
anywhere.
canned.
Ever
Probably
since
because
that shit came out, he just disappeared.
I think that a lot of those guys probably just aren't active anymore with doing it after like Weinstein went to
yeah,
jail.
they're probably like, you know what? I'm gonna quit while I'm on top.
Because
I'm done.
you know all those execs know about it. They just fucking like don't talk about
Well,
it.
if it makes money, it makes
Yeah,
it makes dollars, it
exactly.
makes sense.
Exactly.
you know?
They're like, oh, well, he's just a little weird, but we deal with it because he makes his money. But
Yeah,
we
he's
just
a
don't
good-
talk about
He's
it.
a good producer because
Yeah.
no one can produce fucking generic kids sitcom movies
Yeah,
or
right.
TV shows. It's not like kids have this huge attention span, bro. They put this shit on, it's background noise. Who cares? Like,
Yeah,
it's-
there was like a while there where like every show that would come out on Disney was like indistinguishable from the other one for like 5 years straight.
Yeah.
dude. Like
dude. I mean, you think about like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, even Disney Channel. Their glory days were absolutely when we were growing up.
Yeah.
They fired the pedophile executive or the pedophile producers, and look what you get. You get rid of the pedophiles, you get shit TV shows. So it's kind of like a
I
give
think-
take situation.
I think what happened with a lot of the shows that like the quality of a lot of the shows is that the internet happened and like
Yeah.
all the good writers basically like stopped doing like
They
that
start
stuff.
doing their own thing.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
I don't have to work 60 hours a week for little pay now.
Well, remember back in the day, like that's with the Simpsons, man. Like how many like famous comedians and shit were like writers on the Simpsons at one point. You know what I mean? Like that used to be like the thing to do was to go to Fox Studio and like be a comedy writer.
That was if you couldn't make it as like a stand-up comedian
or
you would
wanted
be
just like a
writer.
more like secure job
Right.
or something. Like
Yeah.
you could go work for a sitcom and be a comedy writer, but like now sitcoms are like dying.
Now you start a podcast.
Yeah, right. You start a podcast.
That's what you do now.
Go write for a podcast.
You get on TikTok. Yeah, right. You get on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can be a comedy writer and like make a legit off of 1 million followers and make like $70,000 a video on YouTube now.
Absolutely, dude. You can make a fucking killing on YouTube.
Hell yeah,
it's crazy.
I see some people that are like popular that make like comedy videos on YouTube and stuff do like stand up comedy. I'm like, they're doing this straight out of passion because there's no way they're making as much money on that as they are off of their 1.5 million views on YouTube.
Gabby Hanna tried stand up once.
Did she?
It's terrible.
I'm sure she did.
Out of morbid curiosity, it was bad.
Oh, I'm sure. Didn't she write like some shitty poetry book too? Or
she makes music now. The music's actually not the worst I've heard. I thought she's one of those like people you follow because they're a train wreck. You know what I mean? She like is legit like tweaker lady on the streets vibes now. It's like that's sad, man. She'll write like she posted on her Instagram a while back, just like all these like crazy, just wrote on herself with Sharpie, just all these crazy fucking sentences that didn't make any sense. Like it's definitely tweaker lady on the street vibes. Anymore.
She probably is a probably did get into hardcore drugs, man. Like I'm sure anybody getting famous when they're like 14 is like
fucking issues, man.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, no, she did stand up, and I think it was one of those situations where it's like, you're famous, you want to try stand up, yeah, come on by. She's probably used to like everybody around her laughing at her that she thought like, oh, I'm actually funny, huh? Yeah, because I mean, that's the thing is you see like actors, like look at T.I., man. T.I. is a terrible comedian.
Mm-hmm.
You see these actors and musicians and shit, they want to get on stage because they're used to a bunch of yes men standing around them and laughing, and they get up there and they just die. Like people, it's not funny, and that's not just famous people, man. People that think they're funny with their friends, like, oh, I make people laugh in the break room at work all the time. It doesn't work. You know how many stories I've had, funny stories that translate on stage? None, not a single one. Every funny story I've told on stage, I mean, it may have come from like a grain of truth, but it's shit I've written out. It's not like stuff that actually happened. Yeah, because it's just real life don't flow that way. It's just how it works. Real life funny stories are only funny with your coworkers because like you would both know the guy or something. You have your one about being called asshole by your Mexican friends in the military. Yeah, but that actually happened though, and that's a pretty funny story. But you word it correctly. You don't just go tell the story. And I think a lot of guys think that they can just tell a story. Yeah. But no, you have it timed correctly where you have the punchlines and everything timed out, and you know how about laughs per minute and stuff like that. Yeah. But a lot of people think they can just go up and tell. So then my brother said, "Well, yeah, no, like nobody knows your fucking brother, man. Your brother, bro. Like the thing that makes that story funny isn't like the guy that did. It's like the thing that makes it funny is that it happened. Right. So like that's a story that anybody who doesn't know me or anybody that didn't know like anything about that guy can like universally be like, oh yeah, that's pretty funny that happened. When my brother said that at his funeral he wants to have a closed casket, and then they turn the lights off and his body comes down from the rafters while the Space Jam song plays. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That's like absurd funny, dude. Like here we go now. Yeah. Here we go now. If you want to slam. That's pretty funny. Like could you imagine just mortifying your absolute absurdity of that? It's like hilarious, dude. It'd be hard to find a funeral home that would even agree to that. Fuck them, dude, if you're paying them enough money, man. Like if you want to jam. That's fucking funny, man. I was gonna say, you know who's a pretty funny like guy who like you wouldn't expect to do comedy, but like kind of branches out into it and like does it and is actually pretty good at it is Blake Griffin, man. Really? Yeah. Have you seen any of Blake Griffin's comedy stuff? No. He does like the comedy roasts, but like he writes his own stuff for it. Really? And like I've heard that he goes to like in LA, he goes to like that the comedy store there. Store, yeah. Oh, like a lot. Like he actually puts in the work and stuff for it, and he's really funny, man. I bet as a basketball player, I bet you would be, or any type of athlete, you'd probably be a good roaster on a team sport. I mean, it's just like you were in the military, you get it. Yeah, I sold cars. You had to learn how to fucking roast. Anytime you're in a hyper masculine environment, you got to be quick witted. Yeah, you're gonna get a bunch of shit given to you, and if you don't learn how to throw it back, you're not gonna be respected. Yeah, and that's just how. Anytime you're any type of team sport, military, any type of job that's mostly male dominated, you're gonna have to know how to throw shit back, and that's just how people are gonna respect you. You know what I mean? Like I remember one time I was 18 and I was working at this job. I was the youngest person there by far. It was this guy was just giving me all this shit, and he's like, it was this big fat guy. And he goes, you know what the difference between me and you is? And I looked at him, I went 150 pounds. That was
all the air out of his sails.
That was where I earned everybody's respect right there. And they're like, okay, this kid can hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
well, yeah, like in those situations, you have to be quick-witted because if you don't, everybody just eats you alive, man.
That's
just
it.
That fucking guy. That,
you can either learn to roast. I wasn't good at roasting until I started selling cars.
Yeah.
You can either learn. I mean, I was okay because I was playing football and stuff, but like you can either learn to roast people or you can get eaten alive in those environments, and that's it cuts out the weak. I think everyone should work in an environment like that.
Well, like you got to think of it like in something like selling cars, right? Like saying the wrong thing. You got to be like quick-witted. Like saying the wrong thing and like the wrong moment could like lose you a sale, right?
Yeah.
Like the military, like stuff can go wrong around you, and like so it really is. It's like you just if you can't handle talking shit to another person,
right?
Like how are you going to handle like the actual hard
or
parts
them
of the
talking
job?
Shit to you?
Yeah, exactly. I always think of stuff like that. Like, and I mean, it's got to be appropriate. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be at like fucking church, like talking shit to the person. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be in the appropriate situation. You know what I mean?
In the middle of church, just talking about how you fuck this guy's
mom. Yeah, your mom's walking a little slow down the aisle tonight, huh? Hey, maybe ask her about that, huh? I'll try. If I tell it, I'm going to embezzle it a lot. She'll give it to you straight. Like,
I served your mom communion last night, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, you can't. Church, no, probably not the right place. School, no. When you're going to pick your kids up from school or daycare.
Yeah. Not talking shit at the PTA meeting to the other parents. Like,
that's going to be me.
Be like, your kid's a fucking pussy, dude.
I can't wait. It's like, why don't you tell your kid to quit being such a fucking puss? Maybe he'll figure this shit out, bro.
Yeah. Oh, Dalton over there thinks he's in a hostile school, huh?
That's I love you ever use the Nextdoor app?
No.
You know what that is?
Kind of.
It's like, so it assigns you to your neighborhood, right? And you're supposed to use your real name and shit, but you don't always have to. And it's really just a bunch of busybodies complaining, and every now and then people use it to if there's legitimate crime, like, hey, someone broke into my car last night, people can post that. More often.
That's right. I have heard of that before.
Can you please turn the music off before 10? Some of us are trying, that kind of bullshit. And people
somebody keeps parking their car in front of my driveway.
That kind of shit. And it's not actually.
They do it again. I'm gonna tow it. Yeah, it's actually just like on the street, in the public street, like in front of their grass. Like, not
they don't like that.
Yeah, they're like, sir, can you please not park your car?
Ruining my curb appeal.
One time, a fucking one of your not one of your neighbors, but one of the neighbors at the place that we used to do the podcast at, a neighbor guy fucking like got mad at me for that shit, man. Like
parking
in the street in front of his house. And like I was just like, whatever, man. But like as I was going, I was like, yeah, don't fucking worry about it, man. Like,
is that what you told him?
As I got back in my car, I was just like, yeah, no, I'll move it, man. Don't fucking worry about it.
What a douche.
I know, it's like I'm parking in the street, dude. What, you got your fucking yacht that you got to put on the street, dude? If it does, I'm gonna fucking key it, bitch. Like, fuck you, man.
So I'll go on Nextdoor, and I liked it. Monty Scott gets on it too, and his actually he went viral because right when COVID started. He said, just a warning, I'm COVID positive, and I went around licking everyone's doorknob today.
That's fucking great, dude.
And like people were showing his wife at work. They're like, is this your husband?
Oh my God.
Like it was like went on Facebook and Reddit and just blew up. But no, I'll go on there and I made a post, and I'll never use my real name, right? And I made a post, and I was like, hey, I saw some kids looking in cars last night. This isn't the first time I've seen this. One of my friends up the street actually got his car broken into. Would anyone be interested in forming a neighborhood watch? But I named my profile George Zimmerman.
That's fucking great, dude. Oh my God.
And they were like, I got comments, right? And they're like, some of them were going like, maybe a neighborhood watch wouldn't be such a bad idea. Someone stole mail out of my mailbox. And then there was one guy was like, there ain't no way in hell I'm forming a neighborhood watch with a guy named George Zimmerman. Get the fuck out of here. He's like, look, I'm sure your intentions are in the right place, but the optics of that are just bad.
That is fucking hilarious, dude. If I was gonna troll on there, I would vaguely describe like the plots of 80s movies and shit on there. I'd be like, yeah, there's somebody like working on some car in their garage really late at night. It's some old guy and a young teenager. I don't know what they're doing, but they claim they're trying to make a time machine, but they're up really late at night.
These bright lights.
Yeah.
My neighbor owns a meat locker and he's always in there. I hear him punching it.
Yeah. He's always running through the fucking He's always running through the streets in the early morning, blocking traffic. I've seen people throwing fruit to him before. I think they're just humoring him, but he's becoming a real nuisance. He's always running up the stairs all the time.
This fucking kid keeps putting his dog in the front basket on his bicycle and covering it with a blanket.
These fucking kids are always playing baseball in the open field. They hit fucking baseballs into my backyard all the time. My dog keeps trying to eat them. Oh my god!
Just 80s movies.
That'd be fucking great, man.
Oh my god!
What's funny is like 80s movies now, like a lot of the people probably wouldn't get the jokes that you're making.
Like I own a gun store up the street or a pawn shop, and this guy came in and he came in sunglasses and asked to buy the based plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Yeah, he came in his sunglasses and asked for the Uzi, like
the Uzi 9mm.
Yeah. Give me the Uzi.
Have you seen those prank calls
with like the
they'll call like gun stores and with the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator soundboard, and they'll be like, the first one they call, he goes, "I'm a mercenary. I need a weapon." Okay, well,
I'm a cop, you idiot.
Yeah, they're like, well, that's probably not the best thing to say when you call a gun store. And he goes, "I promise I won't kill anybody."
I don't understand how. Well, like shit, man. Arnold Schwarzenegger hasn't been in a movie in like a really long time. Like,
yeah,
it's funny is like everybody in our generation up, like if you do that accent, will like understand that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Young kids don't know.
Dude, my kid when she grows up, like I won't be able to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They won't know Stallone.
Yeah.
They won't know who Chuck Norris is.
Yeah, dude. They'll be like, why does everybody always talk about Chuck Norris? And you're like, I honestly, dude, I think the only Chuck Norris movie I've ever seen is the one where he's the bad guy in the Bruce Lee movie.
What?
Yeah.
He's not. His movies aren't very good.
Yeah, what I couldn't honestly tell you another like.
They were like a rite of passage in my house. Like my parents would come home with like the Walmart DVDs that were like 3-in-1 for $2.
Well, he got really popular with Walker, Texas Ranger, right?
That was his thing.
And I've never seen that shit. Like I don't like watching that old like sitcom shit. Like I've never seen like Magnum PI or anything.
It's like one of those 90s shows that tried to have like a message to it. Like it'd be fighting and then like it's this Christian message at the end.
Like fucking like MacGyver or something.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of that old stuff. The only one that's like an old sitcom that I like to watch and because like I watched like a video where a guy does an impression of the guy is I can't think of. I would have to look it up real quick, but it's like one of those old like detective like cop drama shows where like the guy is like high functioning autistic or something.
Monk?
No, it's older than Monk.
I like Monk.
I can't think of the name of it right now off the top of my head, but yeah. And the only reason I watch that is because like some YouTube guy that like I like on YouTube always makes like references to it, and like I had no idea what the fuck it was until I looked it up and then started watching it. I was like, oh, this show's actually pretty good. Like, so yeah, that
I like the X-Files. Those shows. I don't know. The acting's kind of terrible in those old shows. But what are you gonna do?
I've tried watching the X-Files, man. It's like I can't get into this.
Interests me.
The sitcom, like any of the sitcoms, because it's like the sitcoms are just like discount movies, you know what I mean? So like they don't have as good of actors and stuff, and like
the sitcoms really had their golden era when you had like Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens.
Yeah, the comedy ones are funny.
So, comedy sitcoms.
Yeah, comedy sitcoms are good.
Yeah, no, like that was like the late 90s or mid to late 90s. You had Everybody Loves Raymond was great. King of Queens was great.
I
Home
even like
Improvement.
Seinfeld. Like,
Not a fan.
you don't like
And
Seinfeld?
I notice I don't include Friends in that list.
Yeah, I know. His Friends is
or
like
Cheers.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you had. I mean, Home Improvement was another great one. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, obviously. Family Matters. Even the Cosby Show. Before the Spanish Fly. It was.
It's funny as he was doing that back then.
Oh yeah,
too.
no, that's when he was doing it. Yeah,
that's not funny, but like, yeah, he was doing it during the Cosby Show days. Like,
yep, back when he was.
I like the Cosby Show, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a solid show.
really like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, dude. You see, they're like redoing that.
They're trying to make it like serious though.
So. I mean, the old one was pretty serious in a lot of times.
It got serious, yeah. I just liked when Uncle Phil would throw Jazz out of the house.
Yeah, yeah, I would throw Jazz out. When they use like the same stock clip of that every time.
Yeah,
yeah.
The same. He was always wearing the same thing.
Yeah,
same time of day. Yep. That was oh man, we just did over an hour. We should probably wrap this shit up. I gotta go to the gym, so.
Yeah, me too. Just go to the gym.
Just go pump some iron. That's That's totally why I'm wearing the bro tank to show off my gun. It's just fucking hot as balls here.
It is hot here, man.
It's worse in the Southwest, so
it's gonna be worse tomorrow, boys.
Yeah,
so
I gotta go to a wedding Saturday. It's gonna be 100 degrees outside. We're gonna
They're
be
going
outside.
to outdoor wedding in the summer.
Outdoor wedding in the summer, 100 degrees outside. I'm wearing shorts.
Christ, dude.
Wife beater and shorts. Let's do this. Like that's.
Can you, like, cut sleeves off of one of your suits? Like
sleeveless suit.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I was gonna wear. Mia wanted me to wear all black, but like I may wear like a nice pair of khakis and a sport coat now. I don't know. We'll
get
see.
ready to sweat, man. It's supposed to be like 101 on Saturday.
It's gonna be terrible. There's nothing I can do to prepare myself for it. So we may just chill inside and watch the wedding from the window. But
that would be smart.
It's the same venue ownership that's doing ours, so it'll be cool to see how their thing goes.
I always think about this when I'm doing weddings or like doing any kind of events like that. Like, I think of like back in like that fucking 1900s, man, where like everybody just wore like starched like wool suits and stuff like outside all the time.
If you pay enough, they can breathe and shit.
Yeah, like the Lincoln days and like this, you know what I mean? They're like dudes in the South,
people
like walking around.
Out.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, God, how did they fucking?
They would wear those every day, though.
Yeah, how would they live like that, man? They had to be like sweaty, like all the fucking time, dude.
But they wouldn't just wear that shit like to weddings. It would be like, hey, we're going to the grocery store.
We're going to the market to go pick up some tomatoes.
Yeah, put on your suit.
Let me put on my 3-piece suit made out of heavy wool.
Bro, they go to like the fucking zoo outside and shit. Yeah. I'm like, hell no. I'm going to the tank top and shorts to the zoo. Get the fuck out of here.
They would do it in like Georgia.
Yeah.
Like in the summer. Like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, it's asinine. Fuck that. No, that's my wedding. We'll have a live episode of Bread and Circuses from the reception table with all the groomsmen and ushers and everyone. We'll invite Chris Janicek's doing the cake so he can come do an appearance.
Is he really doing the cake? Oh, that's cool, man. I like Chris.
We'll have Chris Baker. He'll be there.
Chris Baker will be there.
Chris Baker
making some off fucking some really distasteful tweets about the wedding. And deleting them right afterwards, but we saw him.
Oh, I give everyone a second chance. It's all good. It's all good. No, it's
like there's a whole lot of minorities at this wedding. You think he was mixing a little bit here, like
yeah, it's just
that seems a little fishy.
He listens to this show.
Does he?
Yes.
A big shout out to him, man.
Hey, no, it's all love, brother. It's all love. No fucking. It's all love. We love Chris Baker. We would love to have him come on the show. We just give people shit. We're comics, and we drag up the darkest moment in everyone else's lives, and I'm sure that's probably not the worst in his. So but you heard us making fun of. You heard the Get Retarded song. So that's
we
the episode
literally
name. Get Retarded.
We played that dumbass fucking Kid Rock song on
Ain't nobody gonna tell me.
Dude, the other fucking weekend, my dad like put that on YouTube and like was showing it to me and my brother. Like he was like proud of it. Like, you were seeing this new awesome Kid Rock song.
I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes before shows, that song does get me pretty hyped up.
Me and my little brother were watching it, just like eye rolling the entire time. Like, Dad, are you serious?
Oh, the video's terrible.
Yeah, no, he showed us the music video, being like, oh, look at this
like,
bad boy right
Weird
here.
Al tweeted, "Thank you to everyone congratulating me on the Kid Rock parody, but it wasn't me." It was like,
that literally was like a parody song of like right wing rednecks, but it's like him actually doing it. Like,
yeah, no. It's but yeah, no. Shout out to Kid Rock. Shout out to Chris Baker. Shout out to Chris Janisek, Chris Angel, all the Chris's. You guys,
Chris Angel.
Chris Angel. We appreciate you guys for. Who are some other Chris's? Chris Rock. I mean, obviously for being viciously assaulted, he should have shot Will Smith when he did it. Shout out to John Hinckley. Congratulations.
That would have just been more black on black crime that's ignored by the media, dude. And then nobody would have talked about it then.
Congratulations. Yeah, Ed Norton walks up and shoots him, and it's a huge deal. Congratulations, John Hinckley, on being rightfully freed. Shout out to the girl from my high school that threatened the president on the social media forum. We're just giving random shout outs today. So we appreciate you. Well, I mean, Chris Janisek, you saw what he did with the sexual harassment scandal. It's all good.
Conveniently coming into public. Like
Chris Janisek came on and did my my election night live stream. So
yeah,
we talked to.
He came on and did the show, man.
Yeah, no, he did our show. He was on for like an hour and a half. It was freaking nice guy, Chris Janisek, and just like Chris Baker, he got railroaded as well. So thank you guys so much. This has been Bread Circuses, Harmful Content Comedy. Saturday, July 2nd, featuring Omaha's own New York resident, Zach Bravietti. We'll see y'all there. Peace the fuck out. Thank you so much.
Deuces, y'all.